Hey, what's up, guys? How you doing? This is Eric Principe here for Faster Human. So basically, we're starting this live broadcast, live podcast Q&A session. Sorry for a little bit of delay. So basically, what I'm gonna announce basically is very simple. Something I do every single month, at least once a month. I've been doing the extended fasting, prolonged fasting for 72 hours. I'm going to start tomorrow, personally, my own 72 hours. Before I get to that, I'm just going to talk to you a little bit more about beginners. And for beginners, intermediate, so I'm kind of like getting to know this whole lifestyle of intermittent fasting. So for anyone who has been doing it for some time, maybe you did it a year ago, 2 years ago, maybe 3 years ago, and then you want to come back again, we have a special group for you guys. This is going to be available to you on the podcast. When you listen to the podcast, when it's on the all the details available on the podcast, so you can be able to go ahead and click on it and go into the link. So for anyone who is getting to know me here on the Faster Human page, basically my goal is to kind of share my own personal journey and kind of be able to share with others their own personal journey in regards of nutrition, in regards of what ketogenic diet can do for you, what a regular diet can actually still do for you, and so on and so forth. We have so many options that still with fasting, intermittent fasting, with OMAD, and so on and so forth. We have all these availability to be able to still live a healthy lifestyle. So let's just get one thing basically straight up for anyone who is checking out this IGTV. Basically, for somebody who hasn't worked out, and this is one of the things I got this question not too long ago. What happens when I feel dizzy and when I'm working out, and I just feel like I can't respond to the workout? Do I supposed to be eating? Well, this is the thing about when you haven't worked out and then you're gonna work out and you feel dizzy. One of the things that I learned, and this is being a trainer, and one of the things we used to recommend, is the first thing is like, you need to get apple juice. If you feel faint, your sugar drop very quick. And what it comes down to realize, and this is one of the things that, I don't think will be the best bet for you to be able to utilize a sugar drink, especially when you're starting intermittent fasting. But it can be something that can be helpful, not necessarily on a negative. But one of the things that you have to remember when it comes down to getting your body adapted and getting your body to get into that kind of sort of phase of getting into that faster workout and getting to your body to adapt to exercise. And this is one of the things that I have come to see with my family. I have my wife necessarily doesn't work out all the time, and I noticed that her body automatically crashes down very quick after one set of workouts or one set of workouts. And I've seen this too with other individuals. They have worked out kind of sort of like not having anything on the body, or sometimes I have seen people that have breakfast. They come in after an hour, they want to puke their guts out after getting just maybe 10-15 minutes of a cardiovascular training or strength training sort of workout. And so this is something that most people are gonna go through if you're not adapted. Just like your body needs to be adapted to intermittent fasting, your body is gonna take a while to adapt to the rhythm of things. One of the things that is going to have a factor is your sleep patterns. And this is one of the things that I said to a lot of people in regards of your sleep patterns. If you lack of sleep, you're waking up, after 4 hours, 5 hours, 6 hours, you're using the bathroom a lot. That's indication a lot that you have a specific amount of sugar intake that is still in your body. That still hasn't been able to be released. I mean, obviously you got to use the bathroom, right? But when you're constantly utilizing it in the middle of the night, interrupting your sleep, the whole idea of getting to your actual, workout in the morning is to be able to have that energy back again and on the following day. So that's one of the things that is, when you're sleeping and you get interrupted sleep, and so you're gonna suffer somewhere or another while you're either training through your day. But this is going to take adaptation. This is going to take some time for you to be able to get to your specific goals, right? So your goal is to lose weight, for example, right? So then you're going to have to adapt to a routine that is going to be efficient for you. So maybe you want to do yoga. So try to do yoga first thing in the morning, stretch your body out. You're just going to focus on your core. It's going to focus on a specific exercise that is going to focus in the upper body. But even though it's a slow workout, it still is going to be effective because it's going to start targeting major muscle groups in your body, like your upper body, your core, your legs. So everything has to take a sort of like a baby steps type of thing, right? So and so for anyone who is struggling to lose weight, right? And so you're not going to see the results right away. And this is, I'm listening to specific books. I'm getting a little bit more research in regards of what your body needs every single day. So when you're getting that sleep, those 7 to 8 hours of sleep, that is when you are going to see much more of your goals. You're going to see much more of you're adapting to a pattern that is a healthy lifestyle. So no lights in your room, no cell phones, no tablets, no TV. So when you are getting these deep sleep patterns in a constant basis, is going to make a huge difference for the following day. To me, for anyone who is struggling with their weight, is because to have to do a lot from the moment you wake up and start having breakfast, snacks, lunch, snacks, and all these between meals that necessarily are not helping you losing weight. Also, as a matter of fact, it's just stopping from the process of being able to burn fat. And so for me to practice, for example, an extended fast, like 72 hours, is something I have to do gradually. I have done it gradually, started with 24 hours, then 48, maybe 36 hours. Not every time I was doing a 72 hour, I would go straight up to 72 hours. But I managed to be able to get there just because of the practice. It's because, giving it a try. Sometimes I will quit after 48 hours or 49 hours or maybe 50 hours. But you have to remember one thing, though, is that when you are putting your body into this sort of metabolic change that is going through your body, is because it's switching energy, and instead of the stored glycogen in your body, goes into straight up fat. And so that's going to take some time. But you got to remember one thing, though. When I started doing it, I didn't realize, that I needed to have a clean fast. And so a lot of people ask me, well, no sugar in my coffee, no cream in my coffee. No, it's sad, but what is it that you're looking for out of these particular protocols is you want to see results, and you're going to have to step back a little bit. What I tell you is, and this is what I tell a lot of people, is that delay, don't deny. Delay your coffee with cream and sugar for when you break your fast. It will be more effective. You're not denying yourself what you want, and so then it's going to be more as a way of say, okay, at least I can have my my keto coffee, or has cream, has a little bit of cream, a little bit of sugar. But when it comes down to actual fasting regimen on the 16A, you want to make sure that it's just plain black coffee, plain green tea, plain mineral water, and so is water. Now, one of the things that I talked about on my previous podcast, it was that, hey, what about if I feel dehydrated? Well, one of the things that I suggest is that if you start feeling dehydrated, make sure you put a teaspoon of water, maybe in a gallon of water, put a teaspoon of sea salt, and this is going to help you out for your electrolytes, feeling dehydrated. So when it comes down to seeing the results that you want, when it comes down to a 16-day protocol, it takes about 30 days. a little bit more than 30 days, but so you can see the difference. My wife has been doing 16A for almost more than a month, and now she has lost about 20 pounds, 15 to 20 pounds. But that's because it's something that I see her all the time, right? I don't see major changes, but she starts feeling it, that she doesn't feel bloated, she doesn't feel lethargic, she feels more effective in the morning. So this is something that most people are going to feel. You can start listening to your body and how you feel through the morning. How do you feel about skipping all these meals? Because your body is going to go through this wave, hunger wave. And those hunger wave will come around left and right. They're going to come around no matter what, but it's going to take a time to dissipate. See, for example, right now it's like almost 12:30 right now. I don't feel hungry. I worked out. I did my workouts. I had a cup of coffee. I had water. And so my body has adapted to this routine where I know I'm going to break my fast at 2 p.m. I know I'm going to probably stop my fast or stop my feeding or my feast by 5:30 or 6 p.m. So this is something that these patterns that you have is going to change completely when you start doing intermittent fasting. Now, for anyone who is thinking about doing prolonged fasting, it's going to be a little bit different because your hunger wave is going to come around. For me, for example, will come around 2:30, maybe 3 o'clock, and I'm going to be like, I'm hungry, but I'm not going to eat on those days because I know for a fact that it's going to take some time to just adapt to that 72 hours. But I've been doing it for once a month, and I do it because I think that it's beneficial for the long-term effectiveness of my lifestyle, and because I wanted to see, how it's going to make a difference in the long term, how it's going to make a difference when I'm 50 or when I'm 60, when I'm 70. So how it's going to make a huge difference if I do practice this now. I never done past 92 hours, right? I never done past 6 days or 5 days of fasting. Probably something I'm thinking about practicing, but right now my focus is once a month, 72 hours. If I can do 72 hours once a month, I can help you out and be able to tell you what is going to happen to your body. And for anyone who is interested in doing so and thinking about, okay, maybe I want to give it a try. I've been doing intermittent fasting. I have done 24 hours. Maybe I have done 48 hours, but now I'm thinking about doing 72 hours. You are welcome. You are welcome for the next time. Right now, I'm just kind of prep you right now to say, hey, look, we're going to have a challenge. We do have this small challenge, which is 16-8 protocol, which is the group that I have in Facebook. But at the same time, I want you to remember that we're going to have once a month a 72-hour fast. And that 72-hour fast is going to take some time to get there. But I'm going to challenge you and say, hey, you want to join us? Join us. We're going to have our discussion. We're going to talk about all the specific things that are going to be beneficial for the long term. There's no shortcuts to this. And I tell everyone, there's no shortcuts to things. You have to put the work. For anyone who is thinking about it, it's not going to be easy, but it is going to be an experience. The whole idea of this is about having the experience to get there little by little. I have talked to you guys about the whole thing about getting fat addicted. Now, let's say, for example, I'm going to go for 72 hours, right? And so thinking about it, and I say, okay, well, I'm going to do 72 hours. But what do I need to do? Definitely, you don't want to have a lot of carbs a day before or the day that you're going to start doing your fast. Why I'm saying this is because then your hunger wave is going to be higher on the day after 24 hours. It's going to be like, you're going to be ravaging. Hunger is going to come into you because you're putting so much carbohydrates into your body. Just because you're doing 72 hours doesn't mean you're going to go ahead and binge on carbs. No, the idea to it is to get a fat addict. Like, you can have a steak, you can have fish, you can have chicken, you can have avocados, you can have bacon, you can have all these specific little things that is going to get you fat addicted so quicker to get more into autophagy and to heavy ketosis and to be able to getting the most out of the effectiveness of 72-hour fast. So once again, the idea of getting to 72 hours doesn't mean to binge out on a lot of processed foods. You got to be careful with processed foods. There's a lot of processed food that are like heavy processed foods, super processed foods that can be detrimental to your body in the long term. Guys, this is not something that I can tell you that something I haven't practiced. It's something I've been practicing for the past 3 years that I've been talking about this. And when I say the past 3 years, is because in the past, when I used to work out and exercise, I never thought about going to deeper details into what's happening inside my body. I never talk about it. I never even care about, what's happening to my body after eating 5 to 6 meals per day. I barely even want to think about it, because I think I knew that I already get that down packed. It's still learning much more about the effects of fasting and the long-term longevity and your health and type 2 diabetes and high blood pressure and all these things that are coming out much more. We continue learning. I mean, for the past 10, 20 years, these things is being practiced. I mean, this is being practiced for thousands of years, from the Catholic Church, from the Muslims, and so on and so forth, religions, and the religious belief that you detoxify, you're taking all these things out of your body to renew yourself. And one of the things that you're going to learn about autophagy is that your cells are eating themselves out. It's kind of like cannibalism, right? Within your body that is eating all these bad protein and then just renewing itself. And it's amazing what your body can do. But in order to understand this, is about understanding little by little. This is one of the reasons why I say get a book. I listen to books, and I have quite a few books that I can recommend to you. But when it does comes down to is to understand that sleep is number one. Get those 7 to 8 hours of sleep. Wake up in the morning. Maybe you want to meditate. Maybe you want to do yoga. Maybe you want to go running. Take about 20, 30 minutes on doing that every single morning and get to your day. Stay busy. I know you're going to be like, what about my bagel with cream cheese? Well, that's what you're skipping on. You're skipping that bagel with cream cheese. You're skipping those little snacks, because at the end of the day, you want to be self-efficient. And when talking about self-efficiency, is because your brain, you want to make sure that your brain is taking all the things out within the house, right? Maybe you want to clean the house. Maybe you want to clean the backyard. Maybe you want to, clean your grill. And so do something that is just going to keep you busy through the day. Like, for example, I worked out after taking my kids to school. I made sure, look, my kid, 5 in the morning, I was taking my kid to school. By 6:30, I was making sure my oldest son is getting ready for school, making lunch, all these little things that it comes around with staying busy. So you know your schedule more than anybody else. So your schedule is set to what can you do to make sure that you get your workout, you get busy with the house, and everything that you can possibly do in your business. When it comes down to your business, it is all come down to, hey, is it helping me out? Is it making me more self-efficient? Because I'm having mental clarity, I'm much more effective. And so that's the whole idea to it. One of the things that they asked me, so what about pre-workouts when I'm working out? Well, let me tell you something. If you're trying to lose weight, I would not suggest a pre-workout. Why? Because any types of sugar will spike insulin. So it's kind of creating sort of like the hunger wave of actually like a feeding state. That's what it's going to create. I mean, there's quite a few out there, like little different things that you can actually utilize to help you have the effect of this pre-workout effect, like black coffee, a little bit of a shot of apple cider vinegar in the morning as soon as you wake up with your water, and it's going to help in the long term, because you wanted to make sure that your body is utilizing what is necessary within your body. There is no effects coming out from the outside. It's from the inside. Once your body is adapting to the inside and was doing what it's supposed to do for the inside, it's much more easier. I mean, I'm not going to deny that I do have a pre-workout here and there. But at the same time, I have practiced for so long doing it without it that I say, do I really need it? Well, it all depends. There's specific things that pre-workouts do help out, but that has a negative effect later on. This is something that I'm not saying to your discretion and what you can actually do and actually be able to kind of do on your own thing. But if your goal is to lose weight, be more effective, be more self-efficient, making sure that you're getting the most out of your day, then I would not suggest it, because then you defeat the purpose of actually getting to a fasted state. Now let's get to the 72-hour fast. The 72-hour fast is very simple. Basically, you set up a week. Within the week, I would not suggest on the weekends, because on the weekends it's your family. Maybe unless you're single, maybe you don't have to deal with family, but I do. If you are a person that is constantly on the weekend with your wife, your kids, and stuff like that, I will not recommend necessarily to do it on the weekend, because it can be a little bit detrimental for you and your family. And thinking, you maybe you go on a gathering, maybe you're going to get together to a party or something like that, and then it's kind of sort of like detrimental, and like, well, she's not eating while he's fasting, and so it kind of be like you're the party pooper of the party. So my suggestion to you is fit it where it's not going to interfere with your daily. For me, for example, this week, starting tomorrow at 2 p.m., that's where I start my fast. Boom. From 2 p.m. all the way to Thursday until 3 p.m. in the afternoon. 72-hour fast. I'm just going to get done. That's just me. And that works for me. I have noticed that it makes a huge difference versus weekend, because in the weekend, kind of sort of like I have more time with my wife, I have more time with my kids, and this is something kind of be a little bit more kind of like, stretching it out. I had done it before, and that, trust me, it doesn't work for me personally. But for you, if it works for you on the weekend, then do so. But for anyone who is brand new to extended fasting, prolonged fasting, then I suggest be prepared to make sure you get a fat adapted. Make sure you have good, healthy protein, good, healthy fats, so that way your body is going to get much more quicker to the autophagy, to heavy ketosis, and so that way it's going to be. Now, what about workouts? My suggestion, and from my experience, keep it simple. Maybe 30 minutes, maybe 40 minutes. Nothing crazy. Don't go out of your way to actually do something insane, but it all depends. I have done it for so long that I go and a little much more sort of like push a little bit the boundaries, but that's just because I have been doing it for already some time, where I have been in a fasted state for 3 days, and also I can be able to push a little bit the body. I know where I'm going, and probably the second day of the training, that's when I feel a little bit much of the challenge. And the third day of the workout will be more challenge to your body. So kind of like don't try to push the body much more, but just keep it simple. Strength training more than anything. And so listen to your body more than anything. Sleep. Now, that's going to change a little bit. When it comes down to sleep, and that's definitely one of the things I learned from my own experience, as far as the when you're in a fasted state, 72 hours prolonged fasting, you're going to have this full energy that's going to come to you a little bit earlier in the morning. So you're going to have much more of this sort of, because obviously your insulin is so low and your cortisol levels are higher. So then you're going to start noticing a huge difference of energy. And if you got to wake up and do what you need to do, wake up and you have that energy, do what you need to do as far as your morning routine or whatever you want to, kind of feel the gaps of accomplishing something. So that's one of the things that I will suggest. Breaking your fast after the 72 hours. And the suggestions is no carbs. No carbs, because you're gonna spike your insulin like if you went to Mount Everest, and then you're gonna crash down, and the last thing you want to feel is like, what is happening to my body? My suggestion, and this is a suggestion that I listen, if you have listened to Thomas DeLauer, or if you have listened to to other different YouTubers or different people that have gone through the experience through doing intermittent fasting or extended fasting, prolonged fasting, is that if you break your fast, obviously with carbs, is a big no-no. My suggestion is 6 to 8 ounces of steak for the first meal, and that will be it. Or bone broth, like a stew, like a beef broth with, if you want a very light amount of would be like rice noodles, like the Asian rice noodles. You can utilize that, but it's very minimal. But you want to make sure that your broth is sustainable. It's just that one meal. I know it sounds crazy, but to be honest with you, it's the best way. Kind of sort of like just one meal, nothing big, nothing so that you're gonna feel bloated. But that's the refeeding part of your body, getting into attached to be able to get the most out of that particular protein and essential fats. So for me, 6 to 8 ounces of steak is perfect, and then move on to what is called the bone broth. It's optional. But 72-hour fast for many people is going to be challenging. So for anyone who is been thinking about, hey, so what about what about doing prolong more than 72 hours? Well, it will be optional to you if that's something, but it's still the same pattern as far as breaking your fast. The refeeding window, it shouldn't be nothing much more big than what I just mentioned. Nice bowl soup of beef stew, if that's what you want, or 6 to 8 ounces of steak. Kind of, get that one particular meal. It's kind of boring in a sense, but it's not necessarily one of the things that I will not suggest to anyone to do. If you're watching this, it's just basically me telling you that what you are trying to get to is to, make sure that you get the most out of your protocol and your day. So cheers for everyone who's drinking black coffee right now. For me right now. Bye. So I'm gonna jump in and say that this is one of the things. Now I'm going to be talking about a little bit more about exercise. So when you work out on a fastest day, you're working out, knowing that you're doing the 72-hour, keep it simple. Try to make sure that your workouts is just as much the same rhythm you have from previous week, or how intense it is. Just feel out your body. This is probably your first time doing it where you're not eating for 72 hours. But the most important thing you need to understand about doing so is that you are getting into that sort of rhythm of things where you practice OMAD instead of doing the 16A. So that way you're having one meal or two meals. My suggestion for anyone who is thinking about doing 72 hours, maybe not right now, but when I set up, I'm gonna set up where I'm going to be going with you guys into the 72 hours. Right now, I'm just prepping you to preparing yourself and getting to know that this might something that you want to do, and preparing yourself to get into that particular 72 hours. But right now, so it's maybe your 16A, and you want to continue practice 16A, continue doing so for the first probably 3-4 weeks. Then when you're ready to move on to the actually maybe 24 hours, 48 hours, here and there, try to practice that 24 to 48 hours. And then when you're ready, 72 hours will be there for you. I suggest that when you are on a 60A, try to prolong your fast to do a 22-2, maybe a 18-6, kind of sort of like testing it out, the waters of extending your fast. One of the things that I have listened to a lot is that people that have done 16A and they haven't gone into that, they hit a wall, which is, you're kind of sort of like not seeing much more results after 16A. That's because you need to extend the fast. That's because you haven't extended your fast and kind of sort of like you kind of stuck on a wall and you're not seeing the much more results that you're looking for. You did lose weight, but then you're not seeing much more out of it. And that's one of the things I learned from doing extended fast and prolonged fast, like 72 hours. Now, for my friends here on Instagram and for my friends on Facebook, I just wanted to remind you that we have a group. We have an app. I utilize this app. I don't know if I can be able to show you here, guys. I'm not so sure if I have the app here, but I want to make sure. Let me see. I don't think I have the app right here right now, but I just want to say that for anyone who is brand new to this, don't be scared. Consult with your doctor if you have taken medications. More than anything, for anyone taking medication, consult with your doctor. Seek for a doctor that is going to be, going with you on the intermittent fasting wagon. I've seen a lot of doctors kind of sort of like staying away from doing fasting, and that's a sign of, for me, that they're not necessarily looking for your well-being, as far as staying away from medications and consuming all these things that necessarily are not good for you. So with that said, I just wanted to thank you so much. If you're watching this IGTV, I just want to tell you, all the stuff that you do is gonna help you on the long term. I always remember the long term, because there's no shortcuts to your goals. There's no shortcuts to success. So you have to remember that all those baby steps you're taking is gonna help you out. You're learning, you're applying it, you're working your way towards your becoming your best. So I just wanted to let you know that if you're interested on following me on the subscription on the Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, the only thing I'm asking is check out for the reviews. Do a review. It's going to help me out create more content. It's going to help me out for anyone out there who is looking for hours. When you share this content, it's going to help that person out, because my experience is not the same as other people's experience, but I'm just giving you what my journey has been helping me out to keep these 44-year-old young men healthy. And so me, myself, and anyone out there who is part of the community, we're just trying to make sure that you live a healthy lifestyle. So with that said, guys, thank you so much. Love you so much. And hopefully I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.